Good morning. Welcome to Inside Talk Show. Inside Talk Show, it's an inside job. Life is an inside job. We're continuing the reading of James Allen's book, Out from the Heart. We're on chapter 4, titled Doing and Knowing. We're about 4 paragraphs in. We will just pick up where we left off yesterday. He was saying, when we work towards supreme accomplishment, it is necessary to begin at the lowest and easiest steps and proceed by natural progressive stages to the higher and more difficult. So start where we're at, incremental steps. I heard this morning, a lot of times, I can relate, we're waiting for our breakthrough. We're waiting for our big break. We're waiting for our big break. That's usually an illusion. And so in my mind, I'm reframing it. While we're waiting for our big break, while we're waiting for that one thing that's going to make the difference between where we're at and it's going to get us to where we want to be, while we're waiting for our big break, let's take daily steps towards that goal. A lot of times I did this. I'm waiting for the big break, so I just sit around and I'm not that I just sit around, like I feel like I don't have to do anything because the big break's coming. The big break's coming. I mean, clearly I have such a fire inside. And this is the thing. We all feel that. I know I'm meant for something big. I know I'm here for something important. I know I'm meant to do something special. You and everybody else, we all are. But unless we understand, it will not just be given in the sense of we can't hack it. We're not going to be cutting lines. Everybody feels that way. So on the way to our big break, let's take daily, humble, grateful steps in that direction. For me, I thought, well, I don't got to do that because I'm going to give a big break. While we're waiting for our big break, let's take daily, humble, grateful, disciplined steps towards our big break instead of feeling that it's going to come from outside of us, from somebody or something or an opportunity outside of us. We create that opportunity. We truly, truly do. All right, side tangent. So when we're working towards something great, we must take incremental steps, start from the lowest, work to the highest. Okay. In acquiring education, in learning a trade, or in pursuing a business, this law is fully recognized and minutely obeyed by all. But in inquiring virtue, in learning truth, and in pursuing the right conduct and knowledge of life, it is unrecognized and disobeyed by nearly all. The statistics of people that succeed, we can just look around. What is it, like 1% of people have all the wealth in the world? It's not a coincidence. And even if that 1% were to give it to everybody else and even it out, within months or years, it would all go back to that 1% because it's a way of thinking, it's a way of being, and it's doing things in a certain way, just like The Science of Getting Rich by Wallace D. Wattles. Doing things in a certain way, thinking in a certain way. We're taught, we don't even understand we're taught, we're programmed a certain way. How's it working? It's not. So to have our results change, we must think, act, and do in a different way. What's that different way? Things like James Allen, things like Neville Goddard, things like what Abraham Hicks teaches, Bob Proctor, the program that I study. They teach us. Tony Robbins, Les Brown, name them all. God bless everybody. Everybody who has a podcast, everybody who has the guts to turn on a camera or hit send on a blog post or an idea that is truly meant with the right motives, something that really touched them, and then to share it with others. And whoever resonates, resonates. Whoever doesn't, doesn't. And something else came to me this morning. When we're annoyed, whenever you're annoyed by someone, it simply means you're on a different frequency. You're just on a different station than them because you're listening to a certain beat. You're listening to a certain song. And when a different song is in the vicinity, you're like, it's messing with your song. It's like two songs at once. It's annoying. Have you ever tried to tune into a radio station and it's not clear? There's static and you can kind of hear another song and you kind of hear it's like that is annoying. But when you locked in to a clear station, it is crystal clear and you can hear the music that you like. Of course, it's going to be annoying and irritating when you hear static from another station, another frequency, but it doesn't mean that it's good or bad. Remember this. For example, if I'm out and I have a clear attunement to my frequency and I like the song I'm playing, I'm doing pretty well. And then there's somebody who's grumpy and complaining. It's a different, I get irritated because that's a different frequency. That's a different song. Or I can be around someone who is just hitting it. Everything for them is going right. They are successful. They are wealthy. They are healthy. They are happy. Whatever they touch turns to gold. That might make me feel, uncomfortable or start questioning myself. It's a different frequency. It's a higher frequency, clearly. That one's a lower frequency, the first example. The second example is a higher frequency. Bottom line, it's a different frequency than mine, and I'm going to notice the dissonance between, right? Always remember, whenever you are irritated, annoyed, shook, moved, bothered, it's because you're experiencing a frequency that's different than your own. But this is good. It's showing you where you're at. This frequency over here, this higher frequency, people who are vibing high, happy, joyous. Have you ever been around someone you're like, what are you so happy about? Ugh. Oh, those people are so happy. Life isn't that easy. They're just idiots. They're just, what planet are they on? They are on a different frequency. That's for darn sure. But it's when we're judging it. They're happy as clams. Leave every other frequency alone. If you're bothered, it's because you ain't happy with your frequency. When you are vibing high, when people are happy and they're happy with their frequency, they are not paying attention to anybody else. When you're really locked in and happy with where you're at, your vibration, your frequency, and remember, thoughts, our mind dictates the frequency we're on. So think of vibration as it's like you're an instrument. The vibration, when you hit a string of a guitar, it sends out a certain vibration depending on the note you hit. Then that's the vibe you're in. Like this is the instrument, and this is the conduit for the running of the instrument, which is our body. So the mind is the player. The body is the instrument, and depending on how our mind plays the instrument will dictate the vibration we're in, and the vibration we're in will dictate the frequency we're on. Another example, I love metaphors. It helps me understand things better. A song on the radio is a vibration. The station it's on is the frequency. So the song is a certain vibe, right? We're vibing with this or we're not vibing with it. But the station it's on is its frequency. Certain songs, certain vibes will never be on certain stations or certain frequencies. Country music is a very specific vibe. You either feeling it or you ain't. Country music. I love country music, by the way. Country music is a certain vibe. It's a certain feel, right? It's a certain energy. But it will never be on a hip hop frequency station. Likewise, a very upbeat, I love hip hop too. That vibe, that feel will never be on the frequency or the station of country music. Is one good or better than the other? No, it's just a different frequency. But depending on how you feel, and you don't have to explain it to anybody else, you can feel however you want to feel. Now, with that, of course, there are basic decencies of people around you. Don't hurt people. Don't kill people. Don't put other people in danger. If you want to do that, if you want to fly off a cliff and go, skydiving, by all means, put your ass in danger. But when we're encroaching on other people's freedoms, of course, that's when we have to. But I'm not talking about that here. We have free will to be in whatever frequency, whatever vibe we want. Are you choosing it, or is it choosing you? I'll just end it there. I mean, hell, I read like 2 sentences, but this is what this reading does. You get into a good book, a high vibration book that puts you on a higher frequency, and it allows you to start using those higher faculties of your intellect. And it gets out of this physical 3D world of the 5 animal senses. Reading, studying, getting on higher vibrations, higher frequencies of mind, of thought, lifts you up. Everything that just came out of my mouth was inspired by those few sentences I just read. That's how powerful this stuff is. Do you choose your vibration? Do you choose your frequency? Are you choosing? And I can just interchange that with, are you choosing your thoughts? Are you choosing what you're getting emotionally involved with? Are you choosing the people you're around? Or are you just drifting? Think of your life as a train. Are you in the engine, guiding the whole train? Or are you in the caboose, letting the train guide you? Are you in the engine, or are you in the caboose? I have to check in with myself every day. If I do not consciously make sure I'm in the engine running the show, and it takes discipline, routine, focus, implementing these things, but it's temporary. Once you get it going, you get a great system going. But at times when I get off track, so to speak, and I'm in the caboose, it's when I get in the middle of my day at the end of the day and I'm like, God, what just happened? There's not enough time. There's just, wow, I'm just spread too thin. I'm not in charge. I'm letting life in the engine run me, or other people. Are you in the engine, or are you in the caboose? Are you choosing your vibration, which will dictate your frequency? Look around you. What kind of people are you hanging around with? What kind of work environment are you in? What kind of customers are you attracting? What kind of neighbors do you have? What kind of conversations are you listening to? What kind of media are you consuming? And then how does it feel? That is the vibe. That is the feel. And we tap into that with our intuition, one of our higher faculties. Feelings don't lie. Emotions don't lie. We cannot live from our 5 physical senses, what we see, hear, smell, taste, touch. We must live from the inner world of higher faculties: perception, the will, reason, imagination, intuition, and memory. Our 6 higher faculties were given to us to be this apex creature, to be creators. Here, let's use our imagination. Let's see from the eye of imagination, not the eye of the 3D physical world. See from this eye, not from these eyes. Imagination. Are you living from imagination or observation? Are you living from imagination or observation? Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you tomorrow.